Alright guys, so we're here with PF2K, none other than our lead developer of Project Celeste, playing off best of one against Dimi.
Who just beat up on me.
Yeah, he's playing
So
really well, man.
he's also playing really well. So it should be an excellent game. So maybe for all those people who don't know about Age of Empires Online and how the game works and how it runs, you want to give us a little bit of a 101 on what we're seeing right now?
Opening wise, yeah, okay, so we've got PF2K opening with double storehouse and his hunting dogs here, so it's very greedy early game, seemingly, but at the same time, it doesn't actually take all that long for it to really kick in and pay off. Whether or not you're going to open with an early dock or not. And I think on a map like this, even if you do lose out on the initial water control, just playing that clean, quick food eco early on gets you that chance to get to a later age 2 stage or straight into age 3 and just puts you in a formidable spot where you can't just easily be pushed to death or even give yourself the ability to.
Right. Because in this game, gathering from your docks and your fishing is a lot faster than gathering from any resource on land. But basically, if PF2K can gather from all of his hunts, which already gather at the fastest rate, and with hunting dogs, it's pretty incredible the amount of extra speed. So 1.5 food per second versus everything else, which is now even farther down than it ever used to be.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like everything, like the hunting dogs gathering and the initial hunt gathering rates all got dropped back. But then again, so did everything else. And I think with the slower game, players are probably a little bit less likely to open with a blind dock or double dock situation and try and play out early game warship harass because it's just so expensive. And also, warships are relatively weaker against anything on the land than they used to be.
What a crazy time, eh? 3 warships on a tiny pond, like from each side.
Yeah, well, that's it. Everyone would just open at least one dock, possibly 2, and just really try and get that initial greedy dock water eco advantage in H2 and try and just push the other person to death, while the other person's just trying to go for like a quick third town center age 3 transition while like immensely behind on the food eco.
So what we just saw there was Dimi pulling off some of his villagers from food, so that by the time he gets to the second age, and something that I, with practice would come, but that I messed up a little bit. You're supposed to move like at least 2 of your guys off of food and put it onto stone, and then another guy onto wood, so that by the time, roughly speaking, you get to second age, you have enough food to still produce more villagers, and then also have enough wood and stone to build your second town center, which is how you're going to get an economic lead in the game.
Well, that's it, Star, because PF2K has done pretty much the same thing. You might go up to 5, possibly even 6 villages if you don't get hunting dogs on the initial hunt. But then you'll drop back to anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 4 if you're Babylonian or Egyptian, just because you're still training villagers. Because you really only want to go to age 2 with up to 150 food, so you can get handsaw on the way, which PF2K has already taken, and just queue up that next villager, right? You don't really want to be floating 200 or 300 food when you could, like you said, have that town center within 2 villages of finishing up age 2.
Oh, look at this difference in methodology here. PF2K, nice close-ish town center on his second golden hunt, and Dimi tried to get the exact same resources, but had to build it a little bit farther away, and PF2K spotted that.
Dimi hasn't actually seen PF2Ks either, so that could be a bit advantageous. Like you said, he's spotted it, and for PF2K, it's actually slightly closer for him. So overall, it's a more defensive spot to be in. In the late game, yeah, Dimi can probably go for a slightly more efficient market setup, but both our players can still throw down 2 more town centers. So ultimately, being able to defend an initial age 2 standoff is probably more important. So Dimi, you can say he's either being a little bit hard done by the map, or you can even just sort of accept that he probably could have just tucked the town center in here. But it might not even come in to being a major factor. We'll just have to see.
First production facility is going to be a stables for PF2K, which makes sense. Dimi did the same thing last game. And what is Dimi's first? There we go. We're doing. We're playing defensive.
Yeah, that's it.
He knows what PF2K is going to do.
Yeah, it seems to sort of be the natural equilibrium of this matchup. Like sometimes you might see the Greek also open for a stables first, but then it sort of becomes a rating versus rating situation. I don't think they want to fight.
You can't win.
Sari versus Asabara. That's it. Yeah, it's just a rough fight.
Such a strong unit. Such a strong unit.
But it looks like Dimi's going to go for. I actually suggested you possibly could have gone for this rather than going for the Toxotes in that game. Like just play a pure food gold army to start with, like just mass spears and Saris, and sort of force the Persian to go to age 3 rather than being able to just field that many bowmen. Like, and if they do, because Dimi opened double archery range behind his stables. Yeah, like he pretty much just smashed bowmen. So when I saw you getting
interesting comp.
When I saw you getting Hypaspis, I went, oh no, those guys, they just sort of got stranded in a sense, tech-wise, counters-wise.
Yes.
Because I mean,
it's interesting, right? Like if you don't do a good enough job of scouting, then you can't make smart enough decisions, right? The more you scout, the more info you have, the better decisions you make. And in that game, with all of the low APM that I have, it was not possible to do. I'll say that.
I think you'll probably pick it back up again soon. But yeah, PF2K's already scouted that Dimi's going to go for Sari, so he's already going with counter spear. So he's actually having to play a different game of Persia to how Dimi had to play into you, and he's already doing it. Partly because of his scouting information or confidence, or just a preference in build design in builds.
Look how smart Dimi is placing all these spearmen at different points in the map, just enough to dissuade PF2K from ever sitting as Saris on the villagers. Seems actually on the right-hand side we have a little bit of a water battle.
Yeah, maybe. Good spot, man. This has the potential to really brew into something. Is PF2K actually scouted Dimi or vice versa?
No.
Oh no! Yeah. So
no.
both of them are really going to start investing in fishing before they actually start investing in warships, which makes it even more chaotic. Because like, who's going to cheeky gather or cheeky repair through it and really come out ahead?
I think at that point you just truce it up. Say, listen.
Only land fighting.
Tree for the water, right? Let's shake hands.
It puts us both ahead economically, so the game is faster and funner on the land. So yeah, let's just shake hands.
Yeah, it's even. It's even. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
You don't get more fishing boats than I get, and that's it.
That's it. We both go for 2 or 3 boats. Pretend we haven't seen it.
Some guy tries to sneak in another boat. You're like, you're breaking the convention. What are you doing?
It's like when when you're playing against like a newbie fella these days, or when we were both newbies, and you play with someone and be like treaty for this amount of time, and it's who can get away with sneaking onto the middle resources without the other player going, hey, you can't be doing that, you can't gather that's on my side.
Yep. I still remember one time we were like, 10 minutes, and at the 10-minute mark, the other team had a wonder.
Yeah, because they've just invested in.
You try to like cheese at the time by just winning by time.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. PF2K's got the 8 tent. It's gonna really put a dent in Dimi's ability to do some raiding, but it's gonna get him.
Yeah, he does get that villager. And Dimi's actually down by a few villagers now. PF2K, it was actually 5 different at one stage there, but it's now only 3, so...
I love this raid from PF2K, right? Like, you've tried one avenue, tried another, but he's so smart in not attacking the same place multiple times, because then that becomes predictable, and Dimi can place his spearman in the right place, but it looks like he's really disrupted Dimi's backline there.
Yeah, that's it. It's a nice catch here.
tons of lost gathering time on the wood. And Dimi needs wood. Greeks love their wood.
That's it.
Well,
Hitting
even
wood
more.
and gold is actually really, really painful for Greeks if they want to invest in particularly double range this early on, because then they can't go for armories, they can't really go for all the eco techs or armory techs or age up.
Oh, but it looks like Dimi's saying, screw that, going ahead. I have the bigger army.
That's it. While
And this is
that many
quite a scary
Asabara
army.
are on the run, and he's only got a couple of units chasing, he's actually got a slightly bigger army here to
Just
face
make sure
off.
not to get caught, though. It all depends on timing. Can he take out the front line before the Asabara come back? And it seems like he's going to tuck tail and run. Even PF2K's army at home appears to be big enough to handle him.
Oh,
I would love to see him
PF2K.
turn back, actually.
Yeah, that's very quick turn back, but ooh, he might be slightly. Oh no, I was going to say slightly too confident there, but Dimi's slightly slow in actually getting the spears to engage there, so he doesn't actually
and
get
sacrifice
the initial
some
the
Asabara.
snare that he's looking for. So 2 Asabara go down for I think a villager there.
I think so.
But yeah, that's a great point you made earlier about PF2K is constantly changing the running angles he's using here with these Asabara. He's hitting different spots. Dimi sort of forced to be on the edge of his seat here with splitting up spears or risking being punished. In fact, this will be a nice catch for PF2K. Because that dock, Dimi's not going to be able
Dimi
to put...
just forgot about it.
Yeah,
Oh.
Dimi must have selected it with these villagers and interrupted her. Because now
I have,
PF2K is actually going to miss it. In a
I have
way,
to
that
say
error is good for him.
Actually, I have to
Sorry?
say something, but the peace has been broken. There will be no treaty today. PF2K has gotten one too many fishing boats for Dimi's liking, and Dimi's gonna have to say no to that. I thought there's a chance for world peace.
PF2K doesn't yet have the wood to squeeze out a galleon. I think people
He's
just...
gonna lose all of this. Actually,
Yeah.
even if he does have enough time, he's gonna be able to kill all of them before he even realizes.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
keep an eye on PF2K's vision and tell you when he does realize.
Oh yeah, that's 2 boats.
Dimi's paused for a second in the queue. He's house cat or house
Yeah,
pop cat.
using the chance to take some upgrades at least, but even still, it's rough when you do get popcat because it just slows down everything from your army production size, you know, to your
And this
eco
is kind of
size.
scary, actually. 20 pop down. PF2K is getting 2 armory upgrades. If Dimi engages in this fight, I think it's GG. Even though he took the water. Oh, here they come.
Yeah, that's
Dimi's
it. It sort
splitting
of
up his
worked out
army.
in PF2K's favor because even though he went for that early water boom and now he's just massed up as much as he can on the
Oh,
land, and
what
in
a-
fact his eco pop's in a much better spot than Dimi's with all the harass.
What a great play, actually. PF2K turned back because of the raiding force of Dimi.
Yeah,
But,
it's...
um,
Oh, and
where's
over on the
Dimi's
right, over on the left, sorry, he's repelled those Asabara, so PF2K's got to try and push again, but
I think
Dimi might be
50K
able to
saying
prevent
screw it. Like I don't really care. Does he care? Is he gonna get baited in by this?
it's an interesting fight because I think there's enough Saris that Asabara
win.
shouldn't actually really win that fight. Although they do have the they've got ranged armor upgrade.
Which is such a great upgrade against the Greeks most of the time.
Oh, that's it. You know, with a civ that really relies on, you know, essentially 2/3 of their early game army's gonna be a ranged element. So
Alright, PF2K is just gonna sit in the base of Dimi. Dimi's trying to get in with the Seri flank, but look how well he positions his range units right in the middle of his army, so the Seri can't get onto it. He can't find a way to attack it. But Dimi's playing amongst his buildings. All of his range is hiding in the back, and wow, the front line is crumbling for PF2K.
yeah, it's an impressive backline here for Dimi, and it's very well protected around and amongst the town center, and the barracks is there. So I think if PF2K's front line wears out here, he's really going to have to back off. Even though he went into this, I think, a slight favourite in that engagement there.
You know, you don't. What was Steve's lesson? You just don't. You don't attack when you're going up to age 3, or you're going up to the next age. Seems like a waste of your age 3. Okay, so one thing that I think
in a way,
Dimi might be mistaking is PF2K is no slouch right now. He's up to 140 population already.
Yeah, he's still got a pop lead, so Dimi can't really push too far out here.
Yeah. Philosophy is great.
PF2K is able to sneak in some age 3 upgrades, so I think he was able to get to age 3 with a little bit more in the bank there. And yeah, no, you know, like you said, it is a bit of a mistake attacking in an age 3, but doubly so I think if you aren't the player who has that slight resource lead, because you're going to have to try and replace army as well as take all these fancy upgrades that you're getting age 3 for, or get your third town center. So like it's a double commitment to actually get some value out of it.
Absolutely. And on the water, PF2K is actually getting a ram ship. And
well, that's good timing for this.
Yeah, the way that the ships, you know, are working nowadays, basically pierce damage, which comes from anything that shoots arrows or throws spears and stuff like that, does no damage against buildings. Or very little damage against buildings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because with the damage and the health pool of all the warships and counter warships being halved,
yes.
it, not only against like running by armies, against buildings, you're right, it takes so long. That warship did 800 damage, and now...
In the middle. We got a fight going on. Oh, Dimi, does he see it? He does not see it. Oh,
Dimi
no.
overstepping the mark a bit there, and PF2K's transitioned to Takabara already.
And he's sitting just right in the middle of it. Oh, no.
No, and he's not even going to try and kite out of it, which he probably should do in this spot. Oh, he's tapping out there. Bit of a misstep there.
Way to lose. Oh. You don't pay attention for half a second, and PF2K with the right composition just to capitalize on that. Well done.
He's even got a single villager here. I'm not sure why. Oh, he's brought villagers over because he was possibly going for the dock? Or a wall off again? I don't know. But yeah, that was a really, really tidy age 3 and push there from PF2K. Well, Dimi looking to actually, you know, be active on the map himself, which is commendable because, you know, it forces your opponent to have to play so defensively. Otherwise, you get some value out of it. You kill things, villages, you know, deny storehouses, all that sort of thing. But it just wasn't paying attention with that army.